How difficult can it be for an Israeli citizen to invite his foreign, non-Jewish wife and child to join him in Israel? Well, very difficult, as you'll hear in this story. My name is Joshua Pex. I'm an Israeli immigration lawyer, and today we're going to hear the story of Avi. It's not his real name, but we'll call him Avi, of how he didn't give up and how sometimes you need to really fight all the way through bureaucracy if you want to bring your wife and daughter to Israel. So how did this story start? A while ago, a young Israeli man from Ethiopian background came to me and said, already for a few years, I'm trying to bring my wife and daughter that are living in Ethiopia to join me in Israel. I asked more and I heard a little bit about his story, which is like many of the Ethiopians. He and his family were waiting for many years in Ethiopia for them to be approved to make Aliyah to Israel. So Aliyah for Ethiopian descendant of Jews is not done according to the law of return, but according to decisions of the government. Some of them are waiting many, many years, either in Addis Ababa or in Gondar, to be approved for Aliyah. So Avi and his family were waiting, but during this time, he was 17 years old, and a classmate of his, she was also 17. They got to know each other, and they started a relationship. They were even living together and had a child together. Well, this relationship wasn't really approved by both of their families, his Jewish family and her non-Jewish Christian family. Both didn't like the relationship, but they were young and they were in love and they lived together. While the baby was just a few months old, suddenly his family came to him and said, listen, after waiting for more than 5 years, our family has been approved for Aliyah. You have to come with us. He said, can I bring my wife and child? They said, no, the Jewish agency won't allow that. You need to come on your own. So after thinking about it, he had to make this very difficult decision. He thought to himself, I'll come to Israel, I'll make Aliyah, and then I'll invite her to join me. Well, that's what he did, but it took him many years for her to join him in Israel. What happened is that he was, like I said, 17 years old. He made Aliyah. First you go to an absorption center, you learn Hebrew. Actually learned Hebrew very quickly and assimilated well into society, joined the IDF and was recruited into one of the combat units. So he served 3 years. After he finished the military, he found a job, and then even though he kept in touch with his wife and daughter this whole time, only after the military and after he found a job, he started more seriously trying to invite them to join him in Israel. Well, he went to Misrad HaPnim, which is the immigration authority close to where he lived, and that didn't succeed. So he thought, I will go to Ethiopia, get married, and then come back to Israel and invite her or both of them to Israel as my wife and daughter. So that's what he did. He went to Ethiopia, got married, came back, went again to the immigration authority and again was refused. At this point he came to me. I looked at the case and I thought, yes, I think I can help. You're married, you have a daughter. So we applied, but pretty quickly we got a refusal, and the reason that Misrad HaPnim said is that before you made Aliyah, you had signed a declaration that says that you're not married and don't have children. Well, I asked them, do you remember signing anything like that? It was like I said, it was already quite a few years back. He said, I signed, but I didn't exactly know what I signed. Even the document was in Hebrew, so the Misrad HaPnim, the Minister of Interior, showed us this document in Hebrew that he signed. He said, I never would have signed that I don't have a child. It's true that I said I wasn't married because I really wasn't married. We were living in a relationship. Well, I thought, yes, we have this signed declaration, but no, we're not going to give up. Now you're married, this is your daughter, let's continue. So we went to the appeals court, the appeals tribunal in Jerusalem. The judge had heard the case and recommended that we withdraw the application, not necessarily because what he had signed, but because the judge said that she doesn't think there's enough evidence that he did keep a genuine relationship and keep in touch with his wife and daughter all these years. So he brought declarations, and of course he stated and even brought friends and family that said, yes, we know that, and he was in touch with his wife and daughter, but like most people do, when he made phone calls, when he sent over money, he didn't always keep evidence. So we agreed to withdraw the case, and I recommended that now he stay in touch and keep evidence for every phone call, every time he sends over money, every time there's a letter, keep a copy of it, and this is what he did. Also, he went one more time to visit in Ethiopia, produce more photos, show that he's serious, he's in a relationship. All this took time, and he was even asked to do a DNA test and bring a verdict of the family court that he is really the father of the daughter, because Misrad HaPnim, even though the documents in Ethiopia showed he was the father, the immigration authorities said, no, we want DNA evidence to prove that you are the father. So you can see how many hurdles. You can also imagine how much it cost him, fees, legal fees, going through all these difficulties, but because of his love for his wife and his daughter, he kept on going. And finally, we applied again after about half a year. We had lots of evidence that every day he's in touch with his wife, talking to his daughter over Zoom, WhatsApp. And we made application, but we didn't get an answer. We were waiting a long time, many weeks, waiting, no answer. I told him, listen, maybe we need to go back to court again. But before we go to court, let's take the story out to the media, take it to the public, see if this can help. Because sometimes bringing a story like this to light, bringing the attention of the media, does cause the immigration authorities to make a decision, and this is what happened. His story was published by one of the biggest, maybe the biggest online media websites, Ynet, and got a lot of publicity. Not long after that, Misrad HaPnim said, your application is approved. Your wife and daughter can come to Israel. He was asked to give a bank guarantee, but he did that happily, as you can imagine. And his wife and daughter came. It was really a happy day for me after maybe a year and a half, almost 2 years of legal battle, to tell him, yes, your daughter and wife can come to Israel. So what is the moral of the story? That sometimes in order to succeed with the immigration authorities, you need to be tenacious, you need to keep fighting and never give up. So thank you for listening. If you have any questions, as always, you're welcome to contact us.